Tonight we're going to journey inward together. Imagine just for a moment the quiet space you're in. Maybe you can hear the soft hum of the world outside, the gentle whisper of air moving through the room. And perhaps in this quiet space there is another presence, another heartbeat. You might feel a familiar weight settle at your feet, or catch a glimpse of a shadow moving gracefully in the periphery. A pair of eyes, ancient and knowing, might meet yours from across the room, and in that silent gaze, a whole universe of understanding seems to pass between you. It's a soft reminder that sometimes the most profound guides on our path don't speak our language. Tonight, we'll explore what they teach us about the silent language of our own hearts. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd also love to see where in the world you're joining me from tonight and what time it is for you. Feel free to leave it in the comments below. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. We begin with an arrival, an unspoken, often unexpected arrival. For so many of us, this story starts not with a grand decision, but with a quiet pull, a gentle nudge from the universe. Think back to that moment, that first meeting. Perhaps for you, it was a deliberate choice. You walked through the echoing halls of a shelter, past rows of hopeful faces, each with a story you could only guess at. You weren't sure what you were looking for, or perhaps you thought you were. You had an idea in your mind, a certain breed, a certain color, a certain age. But then it happened. A single cage, a single pair of eyes locked onto yours, and the rest of the world just seemed to fade into a soft, blurry background. It wasn't the one you expected. It wasn't the one that ticked all the boxes on your mental checklist. But something inside you, a quiet voice you hadn't heard in a long time, simply whispered, "That one." Or maybe your story began differently. Maybe it was a rainy Tuesday evening, and a sound from outside your door, a faint, pitiful cry, broke through the noise of your day. You opened the door not expecting to change your life, but there it was, a tiny, shivering creature, lost and alone. Your logical mind might have listed all the reasons why you couldn't, the responsibility, the cost, the inconvenience. But your heart, in its infinite and often illogical wisdom, had already made the decision. You brought it inside, wrapped it in a warm towel, and in that simple act of kindness, a bond was forged. For others, the arrival is even more mysterious. A friend of a friend can no longer keep their beloved companion. An elderly neighbor moves into care. A cat simply decides that your porch is its new home, appearing day after day with a quiet persistence until you finally relent and open the door in your heart to its presence. Whatever the circumstances, the theme remains the same. It feels less like an acquisition and more like a reunion. It feels less like a choice you made and more like a destiny you simply accepted. It's a common story, yet for each person, it feels uniquely personal and sacred, a secret whispered only to you. This arrival is our first clue. It's the universe showing us that the most important connections in our lives often don't announce themselves with a loud bang, but with a soft, persistent presence, a gentle and unspoken knowing. Just for a moment, allow yourself to consider that first encounter again. Feel the texture of that memory. Did you choose them, or did they in some quiet way already on their journey towards you choose you? This is a fundamental question because it shifts us from a place of control to a place of gentle curiosity. It's a shift we rarely afford ourselves in our own lives. We believe we must control our careers, our relationships, our own feelings. But what if the most important things are not meant to be controlled, but simply welcomed? The arrival of this small being is a lesson in surrender. It is a lesson in allowing something beautiful and unplanned to enter our carefully curated lives and change them for the better. This is the first message our animal companions bring to us, a message delivered not in words but in their very presence. It's a message that says, "I am here. I was meant to be here. Let us begin." And in that moment, without realizing it, a part of our own inner landscape, a part we thought was barren, begins to feel the first drops of a gentle healing rain. And so this being that arrives so unexpectedly, this small soul with soft fur and trusting eyes, begins to weave itself into the very fabric of your life. The initial novelty, the gentle chaos of a new presence, soon settles into a quiet rhythm. Their food bowl becomes a landmark in your kitchen, their favorite sleeping spot a permanent fixture on your sofa. But the most profound change isn't in the logistics of your life. It's in the silent, energetic landscape of your home. It's a quiet, unassuming vigilance that is most palpable when you are at your most vulnerable. Think of the end of a long, draining day. The world has taken its toll. Your mind is a tangled knot of worries and responsibilities, and your body aches with a fatigue that feels so deep. You finally retreat to your bedroom, that sacred space where you are allowed to be undone, where the mask you wear for the world can finally be set down. As you settle into bed, you hear a soft sound, a gentle thud as they leap up to join you. They don't demand anything. They don't ask for an explanation of your day. They simply find their spot, often curling up near your feet, by your side, or even close to your chest, and they settle in for the night. You feel a familiar weight, a grounding warmth that seems to anchor you to the present moment. Their breathing, a soft and steady rhythm, becomes a lullaby. If they are a cat, a deep, resonant purr might begin to vibrate through you, a sound that feels like it's emanating from the very core of creation, a gentle engine of peace. It's one of those quiet certainties of life with an animal companion, a ritual so common we often forget to marvel at its profoundness. They are standing guard. Have you ever wondered what they're guarding? Is it just your physical body, a remnant of some ancient pack instinct? Or is it something deeper, your peace, your spirit, as you drift into the vulnerable world of dreams? Many ancient traditions believe that when we sleep, our soul travels. It revisits old memories, explores other realms, and processes the raw data of our waking lives. It is a time of immense vulnerability and immense power. And in these moments, this quiet sentinel remains at their post. They are a silent guardian at the threshold between worlds. It's a phenomenon countless people have described, waking from a nightmare to find their pet stirring, looking at them with concern, or even placing a gentle paw on them as if to say, "It's okay. You're safe. Come back." This watchfulness extends beyond the night. Notice what happens when you are unwell, when your body is fighting a fever or an illness. They seem to know. They stay closer than usual, their normal playful energy subdued into a quiet, constant presence. They will lie beside you for hours, their warm body a constant source of comfort, their stillness a form of silent solidarity. They are not trying to fix you. They are not impatient for you to get better so you can play with them or feed them on time. They are simply with you in your state of being, whatever that state may be. They offer a profound and wordless acceptance. This is the core insight they offer us in these moments. Their presence is a physical demonstration of unconditional presence. They don't judge your sadness. They don't recoil from your pain. They don't analyze your anxiety. They simply draw near and share the space with it and with you. Now, let us take this beautiful, tangible truth and hold it gently in our minds. Let's ask a gentle, reflective question. This quiet sentinel, this guardian of your peace, how does its behavior model the way we could treat the parts of ourselves that are in pain? What if your own anxiety, that feeling you so often try to push away, is also a kind of sentinel? A hypervigilant guard standing watch over a part of you that feels deeply unsafe. What if your sadness, that heavy feeling you try to distract yourself from, is simply a loyal companion trying to sit with you in a space of loss, refusing to let you go through it alone? It's a very human experience to mistake these inner messengers for the enemy. We treat our own feelings with a harshness we would never dream of showing to the trusting animals sleeping at the foot of our bed. We command our sadness to go away. We scold our anxiety for showing up. We shame our fear for being irrational. But our pets show us another way. They show us the healing power of simply drawing near, of offering warmth, and of standing guard with quiet, loving acceptance. They are teaching us, through their silent example, the first step in learning the language of our own soul. This sentinel who stands guard, this quiet companion, offers a presence that is undeniably comforting. The warmth of their body, the soft weight of their being, the steady rhythm of their breath, it all works to soothe our frayed nervous systems. It's easy to explain this away with simple biology. We are mammals, social creatures, and the presence of another non-threatening being is inherently calming. The exchange of warmth is a primal signal of safety. This is all true, and it is beautiful in its own right. But tonight, let's gently pull at that thread of understanding. Let's allow ourselves to wonder if there is something more happening beneath the surface of this simple comfort. Is it possible that what we are experiencing is not just a passive exchange, but a deeper, more active form of communication? Let's consider one of the most mysterious and magical sounds in the natural world, a cat's purr. When they are curled up on your lap and you are stroking their soft fur, this incredible sound begins to rumble from deep within their chest. You feel it as much as you hear it, a gentle, steady vibration that seems to pass directly into your own body. We've always associated this sound with contentment, a sign that they are happy and relaxed. And while that is certainly true, scientific inquiry has revealed something far more fascinating. Researchers have measured the frequency of a domestic cat's purr and found that it consistently falls between 25 and 150 hertz. It's a compelling discovery because these very same frequencies are known in therapeutic settings to promote healing. Frequencies in the 25 to 50 hertz range are shown to aid in bone regeneration and mending, while frequencies around 100 hertz can help with soft tissue repair and pain relief. It's an incredible piece of information. This tiny creature, resting in your lap, is producing a sound that is, by its very nature, a form of vibrational medicine. They are, in essence, a self-healing machine. But here's where we must pause and ask our gentle question. What if that purr isn't just for them? What if in some way it is also for you? It's a very human experience to dismiss such thoughts as fanciful or sentimental. We are taught to look for the simplest, most logical explanation. The cat purrs because it feels good, and the healing effect is just a happy biological byproduct. And yet, for those of us who have truly felt it, that explanation sometimes feels incomplete. When you come home with your heart in pieces, shattered by a loss or a disappointment, and they have laid on your chest and purred until your own ragged breathing began to soften and even out, it feels intentional. It feels like an offering. This is our first real glimpse into the idea that their presence is more than just comfort. It is a form of communication. They are not using words, but they are transmitting a message. In this case, the message is one of coherence, of stability. Their body is a finely tuned instrument, and when your own energy field is chaotic and dissonant from stress or grief, their presence helps to restore a sense of order. They are broadcasting a frequency of calm, and your body, in its own innate wisdom, begins to attune to it. This is the core insight for us to hold on to. Their communication is energetic. It bypasses the logical mind and speaks directly to the deeper, more primal parts of our being. Now let's apply this beautiful idea to our own inner world. The core philosophy of our journey together is that our emotions are also messengers. If a cat's purr is an external transmission of calm and heal, then what is the transmission of our own internal feelings? What message is anxiety broadcasting? It's a chaotic, high-frequency energy, isn't it? A message that says, warning. Pay attention. Something is at risk. What is the frequency of sadness? It's a slow, heavy, low-frequency energy. Its message might be, slow down. Something important has been lost. Acknowledge this. We so often treat these internal transmissions as noise, as static to be ignored or turned off. We take a pill. We distract ourselves. We do anything to stop the broadcast. But what if we learn to see these feelings not as a malfunction, but as a form of communication as valid and as meaningful as that healing purr? What if we could learn to be as receptive to our own inner frequencies as we are to the accompanying presence of the pet beside us? This is the invitation they offer us. They show us, through their very being, that the most important messages are not always spoken. They are felt. They are vibrational. And learning to tune into them is the beginning of a profound journey home to ourselves. So we begin to accept this beautiful possibility that the bond with our animal companion is a form of deep, energetic communication, a transmission of peace, of safety, of healing. You learn to read their silent language with astonishing fluency. You know the difference between the meow that says, I'm hungry, and the one that says, I'm so happy you're home. You can tell by the subtle flick of a tail, the soft pinning of an ear, or the look in their eyes whether they are feeling playful, tired, or even a little bit anxious themselves. You become a master translator of their needs, their moods, their desires. You know that when they scratch at the door, they want to go out. You know that when they bring you a toy, they are inviting you to play. You know that when they hide under the bed during a thunderstorm, they are seeking comfort and security. This is a remarkable skill. is a testament to your capacity for empathy, for connection, for attunement to another living being. You respond to their needs with a natural and effortless grace. You don't question their fear of the loud noise. You simply comfort them. You don't judge their need for attention. You happily give it. You have created a relationship built on this beautiful, intuitive dance of communication and response. And this is where our journey takes a pivotal turn, a turn inward, because we must now ask a very important and perhaps slightly uncomfortable question. Why is it that you can so easily perceive the subtle shift in your pet's mood, but so often ignore the loud, clear signals your own body and soul are sending you? This is the great paradox, the profound disconnect of our modern lives. You are an expert in the language of another being, but a stranger to your own. That same energetic communication we just explored, that transmission of information is happening inside you in every single moment. Your body and your emotions are constantly speaking to you. The tight knot in your stomach before a difficult meeting is a message. The heavy ache in your shoulders after a long week is a message. The lump that forms in your throat when you hold back tears is a powerful, clear message. And yet, how often do you listen? How often do you dismiss these signals as inconvenient, as signs of weakness, or as annoying static to be powered through? Think about it. When your pet is afraid, you soothe it. When your own anxiety flares up, your first instinct is often to scold it, to tell it to be quiet, to numb it with distraction. When your pet is tired and needs to rest, you provide a soft, warm place for it to sleep. When your own body is screaming with fatigue, you often push it further, powered by another cup of coffee and the relentless demands of your to-do list. You would never tell your cat it's being too sensitive, or your dog is being irrational. Yet these are the very words we use to invalidate our own inner world. This isn't a personal failing. It is in many ways the condition of modern life. We are trained from a very young age to look outward for validation, for instruction, for our sense of worth. We are taught to prioritize productivity over peace, logic over intuition, and the needs of others over the quiet whispers of our own soul. You are not alone in this. This disconnect is a silent epidemic of our time. The core philosophy of our channel is that this inner world, your emotional landscape, is not a problem to be managed. It is a home to be lived in, and your emotions are the messengers that tell you what your home needs. Right now, as you listen to my voice, just do a gentle scan of your own body. What messages are present? Is there a tightness in your jaw? A flutter in your chest? A feeling of weariness behind your eyes? These are not random sensations. Each one is a piece of information. They are the equivalent of your pet scratching at the door or bringing you a toy. They are requests. They are invitations. The great disconnect happens when we stop seeing them as such. We treat our own inner signals as problems to be solved, rather than as loving guidance to be followed. We have become masters of external caretaking and novices in the art of internal listening. Our animal companions, in their simple, profound wisdom, hold up a mirror to this truth. They show us the depth of our own capacity for gentle, intuitive connection, and in doing so, they silently invite us to turn that same loving attention inward. They show us what is possible, and in that reflection, we can begin to see the vast, unexplored territory of our own inner landscape, waiting patiently for us to finally come home. So we stand before this quiet truth, this recognition of the great disconnect we spoke of. We see with undeniable clarity our own expertise in caring for another being, and our profound illiteracy in the language of our own soul. The next natural step on this journey inward is to ask why. Why does this paradox exist? Why is it so effortless to pour a universe of love, patience, and compassion into this small, furry creature, while offering only a pittance of that same grace to ourselves? The answer is as tender as it is profound, and it lies in the reflection our pets offer us. They are a mirror of pure compassion. When you look at your pet, what do you see? You see a being of inherent worth. You see a soul that is perfect in its imperfection. You don't demand that they be productive. You don't ask them to justify their existence. You don't criticize them for sleeping too much or for not achieving their goals for the day. Their worth in your eyes is absolute and unconditional. They are worthy of love simply because they exist. They are worthy of your gentleness, your care, your affection, without having to do a single thing to earn it. Their presence is enough. This is a profound gift, a reflection of a love that is pure and untangled from the world of judgment and expectation. Now, turn that mirror inward. When you look at yourself, what do you see? For so many of us, the reflection is immediately clouded by judgment. You see your flaws, your mistakes, the things you haven't done, the ways you haven't measured up. Your worth, unlike the unconditional worth you grant your pet, often feels conditional. It feels tied to your accomplishments, to your appearance, to how well you're performing in the various roles of your life. You feel you must earn your own rest, your own kindness, your own compassion. This is one of the deepest roots of the disconnect. We have learned to see ourselves not as beings, but as projects that are never quite finished, never quite good enough. Furthermore, a pet's needs appear wonderfully simple to us. Their world seems to revolve around the pure essentials of life: food, water, warmth, safety, and affection. When they are distressed, the cause is usually straightforward, and the solution is within our grasp. We can fill their bowl, offer a warm lap, or provide a reassuring touch. But when we turn to our own inner landscape, it feels like an overwhelmingly complex and tangled place. Our distress is rarely simple. It is a messy knot of past hurts, present anxieties, future fears, and contradictory desires. It feels intimidating. It's a strange and tender paradox of being human. We are often overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of our own inner world, and so we retreat from it, preferring the simplicity of caring for another. And then there is the voice of the inner critic. This is that relentless narrator in our minds, the one who keeps a running tally of our every mistake and shortcoming. This voice is almost entirely silent when you interact with your pet. You don't hear a voice in your head saying, "You're petting him the wrong way," or "She's being lazy today." There is just a quiet, accepting presence. But the moment you focus on yourself, that inner critic roars to life. It critiques your decisions. It judges your feelings. It replays your embarrassing moments. It is the harsh warden of your inner world, ensuring that true self-compassion remains just out of reach. This is why our animal companions are such powerful guides. They don't just offer us comfort. They offer us a living example of a relationship free from these burdens of judgment and conditionality. The core insight here is that the love you feel for your pet is not something they give you, but something they awaken in you. It is a reflection of the boundless, unconditional compassion that already exists within your own heart. It is a pure sample of the love your own soul is desperately craving from you. They are the mirror showing you the beautiful, gentle, and forgiving person you already are. So let's pause for a gentle, reflective prompt. The next time you look at your beloved pet, sleeping peacefully in a patch of sun, feel that wave of pure, uncomplicated affection wash over you. And then ask yourself this: what would happen, just for today, if you decided to look at yourself, at your own tired body and your own complicated heart with that exact same gentleness? What if you decided that your worth today was not conditional on what you accomplish, but was as absolute and inherent as the worth of the dear creature beside you? This is not an easy practice, for the roots of self-criticism run deep, but it is the beginning of a profound healing. It is the moment you stop looking outside for love you think you lack and start redirecting the powerful love you so freely give back home to yourself. We stand now at a gentle threshold in our journey together. We have seen how our animal companions arrive in our lives like an answered prayer we didn't know we had spoken. We have felt their silent, watchful presence as sentinels of our peace. We have considered that their comfort is a form of deep, energetic communication. And we have looked into the mirror they hold up to us, seeing our own immense capacity for compassion reflected there, and recognizing the great sorrowful disconnect from our own inner selves. Now, we are ready to take the next step. We are ready to learn how to turn that loving, attentive gaze inward and to begin deciphering the beautiful, silent language of our own soul. To do this, we need a guide, a concept, a gentle metaphor to hold on to. Let's return to that magical sound we explored earlier, the purr of a cat. Remember its qualities. It is a soft vibrational hum. It's a frequency of healing, of coherence, of deep, resonant calm. It's a non-verbal broadcast that says, all is well. You are safe. Heal. You don't have to understand it for it to work. You simply have to be in its presence to receive it. The compassion you see reflected in the mirror of your pet, it has a frequency too. The purr is the perfect external model for a profound internal phenomenon. So, here is the central idea for us to explore tonight. What if your own inner wisdom has a purr? This is the purr of inner wisdom. It is not a sound you will ever hear with your ears. It is a subtle, vibrational knowing that you feel in the quietest corners of your being. It is the hum of your own soul. This might sound a bit strange at first, but it's an experience that people have described for centuries using different words. They've called it a gut feeling, an intuition, a hunch, the still small voice within. All of these phrases point to the same truth, that beneath the loud, chaotic chatter of our conscious mind, there is a deeper, quieter, and infinitely wiser layer of our consciousness, and it is always communicating with us. It's not a magical power, it's a natural human faculty we've simply forgotten how to use. We live in a world that is so loud, so filled with external noise and digital distraction that we have become deaf to this subtle internal frequency. Imagine if your intuition had a sound. It wouldn't be a shout. It wouldn't be a lecture. It would be a soft, steady hum, like the purr of a contented cat. It's the feeling you get when you meet someone for the first time and something inside you just quietly knows they can be trusted. It's the inexplicable pull towards a certain book in a bookstore, a certain street in a new city. It's that quiet moment of clarity that can sometimes break through a storm of overthinking, offering a simple solution you hadn't considered. This is the purr of your emotional compass. It is a gentle, vibrational signal that indicates your true north. Now, let's extend this beautiful metaphor. If your intuition purrs, then what about your other emotions? The core philosophy of our journey is that all our feelings are messengers. Perhaps each one has its own unique frequency, its own vibrational signature. The purr of deep joy is unmistakable. It's a bright, expansive, light-filled frequency. But what about the more difficult emotions? What is the purr of sadness? Maybe it's not a hum of contentment, but a slow, deep, resonant vibration that says, pay attention. This mattered. This was important. It's a frequency that asks us to honor what was lost. What about the purr of anger? It might be a sharp, intense, buzzing frequency, like a warning signal, a vibration that says a boundary has been crossed. Your safety or your values are being threatened. Protect this. We have been taught to fear these frequencies, to label them negative, and to seek their absence as a definition of peace. But what if peace isn't the absence of these signals, but the ability to listen to all of them with gentle, non-judgmental awareness? Take a quiet moment right now. As you breathe in and out, try to tune out the noise of the world and the chatter of your mind. Can you feel for a subtle vibration within you? A quiet hum of knowing beneath the surface? Don't try to name it or analyze it. Just notice its quality. Is it calm and steady? Is it faint and fluttering? Is it heavy and slow? This is the beginning of the practice. It is the art of listening for the purr of your own inner wisdom. It's a language you already know deep in your bones. You've simply been conditioned to ignore it. Your pet, in its simple, profound existence, reminds you of what is possible. It reminds you that a state of being can be a message, that a frequency can be a form of healing, that the deepest wisdom is often the most quiet. So we hold this gentle idea in our hearts, the concept of an inner purr, a quiet vibrational wisdom that is always present beneath the noise. Now, let's take this beautiful tool and begin to use it. Let's bring it to one of the most common and challenging experiences in our inner landscape, one of the most misunderstood messengers that arrives at our door. Let's talk about anxiety. You know the feeling well. It might be a low-grade hum of worry that buzzes just beneath the surface of your day. Or it might be a sudden, overwhelming wave of panic that crashes over you, leaving you breathless and disoriented. It's a racing heart, a tightness in your chest, a cascade of what-if scenarios that loop endlessly in your mind. It's a universal human experience to feel at war with our own anxiety. Our natural reaction is to treat it like an intruder, an enemy to be vanquished. We get angry at it for showing up. We tell it, go away. You're being irrational. There's nothing to be afraid of. We try to drown it out with noise, numb it with distraction, or wrestle it into submission with sheer force of will. But as you have likely discovered, this approach rarely works. In fact, it often makes the feeling stronger, more persistent, more powerful. Fighting with anxiety is like trying to fight your way out of quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. Tonight, we're going to try something radically different. We're going to apply the wisdom our animal companions have been teaching us all along. We're going to reimagine your anxiety. Just for now, I want you to stop thinking of it as a flaw in your thinking or a chemical imbalance. I want you to picture it as a small, frightened stray cat that has just appeared on your doorstep. Think about the nature of a stray. It is hyper-vigilant. Its nervous system is wired for danger. It expects the worst because its past experiences have taught it that the world is an unsafe place. It startles at loud noises. It flinches at sudden movements. It trusts no one. It has all sharp angles and wide, terrified eyes. Does this sound familiar? This is the very posture of anxiety itself. There's a part of you that is living in a constant state of high alert, convinced that catastrophe is just around the corner. Now, if this terrified stray cat was cowering on your porch, how would you approach it? Would you run out shouting at it, telling it to leave? Would you command it to stop being so scared? Would you try to grab it and force it to calm down? Of course not. You know, with your deep intuitive wisdom, that this would only terrify it more, causing it to bolt and never return, or perhaps even to lash out in fear. So what would you do instead? You would soften your entire being. You would soften your entire being. You would make yourself small and non-threatening. You would speak in a low, gentle, soothing voice. You might put out a small bowl of food or water, not as a trap, but as a simple, unconditional offering. You wouldn't force it to come to you. You would simply create a safe space and patiently, lovingly wait. You would offer it presence, not pressure. This is the core insight that can change your entire relationship with anxiety. What if you started treating your anxiety like that frightened stray? What if instead of meeting its frantic, chaotic energy with more frantic, fighting energy, you met it with a quiet, grounded, compassionate presence? It's a profound shift in perspective. It moves you from the role of a warrior trying to slay a dragon to the role of a gentle caretaker trying to soothe a terrified creature. Your anxiety is not your enemy. It is a deeply wounded messenger. It is a part of your own consciousness that has become convinced that you are in mortal danger, and it is screaming, in the only way it knows how, for you to pay attention and be safe. Let's try a gentle reflective exercise together. The next time you feel that familiar flutter of anxiety begin to rise in your chest, I want you to pause. Instead of immediately going to battle with it, just close your eyes for a moment. Picture that small, frightened cat at your door. See its wide eyes, its tense posture. And then, from your heart, I want you to soften your inner posture. You don't have to say anything out loud. Just mentally, quietly offer it a safe space. You could imagine putting out a warm, soft blanket for it in a quiet corner of your mind. You can send it a feeling of gentleness, of patience. You can transmit a silent message, I see you. I know you are scared. You don't have to come any closer, but know that here, in this moment, you are safe with me. This is how we begin to calm the chaotic frequency of anxiety. We don't fight it. We offer it sanctuary. And when we do that, we create enough inner quiet to finally begin to hear the soft, steady purr of our deeper wisdom, the part of us that knows on the soul level that everything is truly okay. We have learned to offer a gentle sanctuary to the frightened stray of our anxiety, meeting its frantic energy not with a fight, but with a quiet, compassionate presence. This practice of reframing our relationship with our feelings is a profound one, and now we can extend that same grace to another powerful messenger who visits our inner landscape. Let's talk about sadness. Unlike the skittish, high-energy cat of anxiety, sadness is a slow, grounded presence. It's a quiet ache in the heart. It's a heaviness in your limbs that makes every movement feel like a great effort. It's the feeling of the world losing its color, of a soft gray veil settling over everything. In our fast-paced world, sadness is often seen as an inconvenience, a drag on productivity. It is a state to be overcome as quickly as possible. Friends and family with the best of intentions might tell you to cheer up or look on the bright side. You tell yourself the same things. You try to outrun it with busyness, to mask it with forced positivity, to numb it with endless distraction. It's a very natural impulse to want to escape a feeling that is so heavy. We treat sadness like an unwelcome guest who has overstayed their welcome, and we spend enormous amounts of energy trying to show it the door. But it rarely works. The sadness lingers, waiting patiently in the quiet moments when our defenses are down. Tonight, let's try a new approach. Let's use our gentle imagination to see this emotion in a completely different light. I want you to picture your sadness not as a heavy, suffocating blanket. but as a very old, very loyal dog. Think of this dog. It's no longer a playful puppy. Its muzzle is flecked with gray. Its movements are slow and deliberate. It doesn't bark or demand to play fetch. Its greatest desire is simply to be near you. When you are sitting quietly, it comes and rests its heavy head on your lap. When you are walking through the house, it follows you at a slow, steady pace. When you are feeling your lowest, it simply lies down at your feet, a warm, solid, breathing presence. It asks for nothing. It simply stays. It is a loyal companion. This is the true nature of sadness. It is not an enemy that has come to torment you. It is a loyal companion that has come to sit with you in a time of loss. The core insight here is one of the most important on our entire journey. Sadness is a direct measure of love. It is the emotional echo of something that mattered deeply to you. You do not feel sad about things you do not care about. The depth of your sorrow is a testament to the depth of your love. Sadness is the messenger that arrives to honor that which was significant. Its message is simple and profound. This mattered. This person, this dream, this moment, this hope. It was important. Let us not rush past its absence. Let us sit here together for a while and quietly honor its value. When we push sadness away, we are in essence dishonoring the love that created it. It's like shooing away that loyal old dog who is only there to keep you company in your grief. He is not the source of your pain. He is simply a companion to it. Sadness is the emotion of reverence. It helps us to process loss, to integrate change, and to understand what our hearts truly hold dear. Your emotional compass, when it points to sadness, is pointing directly at something you treasure. It is a sacred indicator. So let's try another gentle reflective exercise. The next time you feel that familiar heavy cloak of sadness begin to settle around your shoulders, I invite you to pause. Instead of immediately trying to shake it off or distract yourself, can you, just for a moment, picture it as that faithful old companion? Can you visualize that gentle gray muzzled dog lying quietly at your feet? You don't have to like the feeling. You just have to allow it to be there. Can you, in your mind, reach down and give it a gentle, accepting pat? Can you whisper to it, I know you are here. I know why you are here. Thank you for reminding me of what I love. You can rest here with me for as long as you need to. It's a very human experience to believe that if we allow sadness in, it will swallow us whole, that we will drown in its depths. But the opposite is often true. It is the fighting, the resisting, the constant effort of holding sadness at bay that is so utterly exhausting. Acceptance, paradoxically, is what allows the energy to finally move. When you offer your sadness a safe place to rest, when you acknowledge its message with kindness, it doesn't have to fight so hard to be heard. And like that old, loyal dog, once it knows you have received its message of love and remembrance, it will, in its own time, get up, stretch, and quietly pad away, leaving behind not a void, but a quiet space of peace and tender memory. You have decoded its language not by fighting it, but by befriending it. We have sat beside the loyal companion of our sadness, learning to honor its quiet presence. We have offered sanctuary to the frightened stray of our anxiety, learning to meet its fear with gentleness. Now we turn our compassionate attention to one of the most powerful and perhaps most feared residents of our inner landscape. We turn to anger. This is an emotion that carries an immense charge. It's a heat that rises in your chest, a tension that clenches your jaw, a surge of fiery energy that floods your entire system. Unlike the inward pull and weight of sadness or the frantic, scattered energy of anxiety, anger is an outward moving force. It wants to speak. It wants to act. It wants to change something. Anger is perhaps the most policed of all our emotions. We are often taught from a young age that it is unacceptable. It is impolite, unprofessional, or simply bad to be angry. We are told to calm down, to let it go, to be the bigger person. We learn to suppress it, to swallow it, to pretend it isn't there. We fear its intensity. We fear the consequences of expressing it. We fear it will damage our relationships or make others see us as unhinged or out of control. And so, we treat our anger like a dangerous wild beast to be locked away in a cage deep within us. We deny its existence, but its caged energy doesn't just disappear. It often turns inward, morphing into resentment, bitterness, or a deep simmering depression. Tonight, we will approach this powerful messenger with the same gentle curiosity we have offered our other feelings. We will unlock the cage, not to let a monster run rampant, but to meet the true being that lives inside. To do this, let's use a new metaphor. Your anger is not a wild, malicious beast. Imagine instead that your anger is a fiercely loyal guard dog. This dog is bound to you by an unbreakable bond of love and devotion. Its sole purpose, its entire reason for being is to protect you, your home, and everything you hold dear. This guard dog has a powerful bark. When it senses a threat, it does not stay silent. It stands at the boundary of your property, plants its feet firmly, and lets out a roar that cannot be ignored. It shows its teeth. It raises its hackles. Its energy is intimidating, and it is meant to be. It is creating a powerful, energetic barrier that says, do not cross this line. You are not welcome here. This place is protected. This is the true nature of your anger. It is not a destructive force of malice. It is a protective force of loyalty. It is the guardian of your boundaries, your values, and your self-worth. Anger is the messenger that arrives with a jolt of powerful energy the moment it perceives that something precious inside you is being violated, dismissed, or threatened. Its powerful bark is a sacred alarm bell. Its message is urgent and clear. Attention! A line has been crossed. Your safety, your dignity, your time, or a core value is under attack. Action is required to restore integrity. When someone disrespects you, the guard dog of anger barks to protect your dignity. When you see an injustice in the world, it barks to protect your value of fairness. When you are being overworked and exhausted, it barks to protect your fundamental need for rest and well-being. To suppress your anger, to tell it to be quiet, is like muzzling your loyal guard dog while an intruder is climbing your fence. It is a betrayal of the very part of you that is trying its hardest to keep you safe. The core insight here is that anger is not the problem. The perceived threat is the problem. Anger is simply the alarm system, the first responder. Its immense energy is not meant for destruction. It is meant to fuel powerful, clarifying action. It provides the strength to say no. It provides the courage to speak your truth. It provides the fuel to leave a situation that is harming you. Let's try a reflective prompt to help you connect with this guardian. Think of the last time you felt a true flash of anger, even if you suppressed it. Take a moment to feel the memory of that heat in your body. Now, instead of focusing on the person or situation that triggered it, I want you to ask a different question. Ask your anger this: what precious thing within me were you trying to protect? Was it your time? Your energy? Your right to be heard? Your sense of fairness? Your dignity? Listen for the answer beneath the noise. When you identify what your anger was protecting, you decode its message. And in that moment, you can feel a sense of gratitude for its fierce loyalty. It's understandable why we fear this emotion. Its energy is immense and can feel overwhelming, but by reframing it as our protector, we can begin to build a relationship with it based on respect, not fear. When the guard dog barks, you don't punish it. You go to the fence to see what the threat is. You listen to its warning. Then, from a place of calm wisdom, you, the master of the house, decide on the appropriate action. In the same way, when you feel anger rise, you can learn to pause, thank it for its vigilance, and then consciously choose how to use its powerful energy to restore your boundaries with wisdom and integrity, rather than with uncontrolled reactivity. This is how you honor your fiercest protector. We have now met three of the most powerful messengers of our inner world. We have seen anxiety as the frightened stray, sadness as the loyal companion, and anger as the fierce protector. By giving them these forms, by lending them the familiar faces of our animal friends, we begin to change our relationship with them from one of fear and resistance to one of curiosity and compassion. Now we are ready to go even deeper, to understand the very medium through which these messengers communicate. We are going to explore the language before words. Think about the way animals interact with the world, with each other, and with you. You've seen this in your own home. Your pet can walk into a room and seem to instantly sense the emotional atmosphere. They know when there has been a tense conversation, even if the room is now silent. They know when you are feeling joyful and light, even if you are sitting perfectly still. They react to your inner state, not just your outward actions. This is because they are masters of the language before words. They are fluent in the communication of energy. They read posture, scent, and the subtle invisible vibrations that we are constantly emitting. They are not distracted by the complex layers of spoken language with its potential for deception and misunderstanding. They perceive the raw, honest truth of what is. This pre-verbal language is not exclusive to the animal kingdom. It is our native tongue, too. It is the first language we ever knew as infants before we could form words to ask for what we needed. We understood the world through the feeling of a warm embrace, the sound of a soothing voice, the sight of a smiling face. We understood safety and danger on a purely energetic level. As we grew older, we were trained to prioritize spoken and written language, to rely on the analytical, logical part of our minds. This was a necessary and important part of our development, but in the process, many of us forgot how to listen to that older, more intuitive language. We forgot how to read the energy of a room, and most importantly, we forgot how to read the energy within ourselves. This is the core insight for us to explore now. Every emotion you have ever felt began as a pure, pre-verbal, energetic sensation in your body, before your mind jumped in to label the feeling. Ah, this is anger. Or, oh no, this is anxiety. The raw energy of it was already present. That fierce energy of the guard dog of anger, the heavy, grounding presence of the old dog of sadness, the frantic, high-frequency vibration of the stray cat of anxiety, these are all different forms of this pre-verbal language. They are pure information, transmitted directly from your soul to your body. Our greatest suffering often comes not from this raw, energetic signal itself, but from the second step, the story our mind immediately tells about it. The moment the energy of anxiety appears, the mind says, something is wrong. I am in danger. I can't handle this. And this story amplifies the fear. The moment the energy of sadness appears, the mind might say, I will be like this forever. I am broken. I will never be happy again. And this story creates a sense of hopelessness. We have become so fixated on analyzing the story, on fighting with the words and the labels, that we have forgotten how to simply be with the raw energy itself. It's a very natural human tendency to want to immediately understand and categorize what we are feeling. The mind craves certainty, but in our rush to label, we often miss the pure wisdom of the initial message. We mistake the frantic commentary of the mind for the true voice of the emotion. So let's try a gentle, reflective experiment. This is a practice you can carry with you. The next time a strong feeling begins to arise within you, see if you can catch it in that very early stage, before the story takes hold. And just for the first 30 seconds, I invite you to resist the urge to put a name on it. Don't call it anger, or sadness, or fear. Instead, simply approach it with pure curiosity, as if you were a scientist discovering a new form of energy. Notice its physical qualities. Where in your body does it live? Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? Does it have a temperature? Is it hot or cold? Does it have a texture? Is it sharp and prickly or heavy and smooth? Does it have a movement? Is it vibrating quickly or moving slowly like a deep river? By doing this, you are practicing the art of listening to the language before words. You are disconnecting the pure, energetic message from the often unhelpful story your mind wants to create about it. You are honoring the messenger directly. When you can simply notice there is a hot, fast energy in my chest, it's a very different experience from getting caught in the thought, I am so angry, this is outrageous, I can't believe they did that. The first is pure observation. The second is a story that fuels a fire. Learning to sit with the raw sensation, to allow the energy to be what it is without immediately needing to name it or fix it, is a profound act of self-compassion. It creates a small sacred pause between the feeling and your reaction to it. And in that pause, you find your freedom. You are learning to read the soul's native tongue once more. We have begun to learn the language before words, to notice the pure, energetic texture of our feelings before the mind weaves a story around them. This practice of pure noticing is profound, and it creates a sacred pause, a space of freedom. Now, we will learn what to do within that space. We will learn the gentle art of sitting with a feeling. This may be the most important and transformative practice we explore together, and the beautiful truth is you already know how to do it. You've been practicing it all along with your animal companion, perhaps without even realizing it. Remember how we started this journey feeling the simple, grounding comfort of a pet resting peacefully beside you? Remember that feeling of shared space, of quiet companionship that asks for nothing? That is the exact quality of presence we are now going to learn to offer to ourselves. The practice is simple, but it's not always easy because everything in our culture tells us to do something about our feelings. We must fix them, analyze them, change them, or get rid of them. The idea of simply being with them feels radical, almost counterintuitive. But it is in this gentle, non-active being that the deepest healing occurs. So let's begin. I want you to imagine you're sitting in a quiet, comfortable space. Maybe it's a soft armchair in a sunlit room, or a peaceful bench in a secluded garden within your mind. This is your safe space. Now I invite you to gently check in with your inner landscape. What feeling is most present for you today? You don't have to go searching for a big dramatic emotion. It might be a faint flicker of worry. It might be a faint flicker of worry. It might be a dull ache of loneliness. It might be a thread of irritation. Whatever it is, just acknowledge it. Now, using the power of your gentle imagination, I want you to invite that feeling to come and take a seat in the space next to you. This is the first step. Invitation, not demand. You are not dragging the feeling out of a cage. You are simply patting the seat next to you and creating a welcoming space. As you picture this feeling, perhaps as a shape, a color, or even as one of the animal metaphors we've used, settling into the space beside you, you can begin the second step, offering it your quiet presence. When your pet sits with you, you don't feel the need to constantly talk to it, to ask it questions, to figure out its entire life story. You just share the space. We will do the same here. You don't need to analyze the feeling. You don't need to ask it why it's here or how long it plans to stay. Your only task is to be with it, to let it know it is not alone. Breathe. And with every breath, you are simply saying, I am here with you. This leads us to the third, crucial step, no fixing. Your pet does not need you to fix its sleepiness or its contentment. It just needs you to allow it to be as it is. In the same way, your feeling does not need to be fixed by you. Your sadness does not need you to cheer it up. Your anger does not need you to calm it down. Your fear does not need to reason it away. The core insight here is a beautiful paradox. True change happens when we stop trying to change things. When a feeling is finally allowed to exist without pressure, without judgment, without an agenda to make it go away, it can finally deliver its message and complete its natural life cycle. The energy we waste on fighting and resisting is immense. By simply sitting with the feeling, you conserve that energy and you create the conditions for a natural organic shift to occur. And finally, the fourth step, allowing it to leave on its own. You would never force your pet to get up and leave when you decide it's time. You trust its own inner rhythm. When it is rested, it will get up. We must offer this same trust to our emotions. When you sit with a feeling with true, unconditional presence, it will eventually shift, soften, or dissolve in its own time. It might stay for 5 minutes or 5 hours. The duration is not important. What is important is your willingness to be a compassionate companion for as long as it needs you. Let's try this for a moment together. Bring to mind that safe space again, that chair beside you. Invite the feeling that is present for you now to sit there and just breathe. You are here. It is here. You are sharing the same quiet space. Notice any urge to fidget, to distract yourself, to fix it. Just notice it and gently return to the simple act of breathing, of being present. You are offering your own inner world the very same gift your pet offers you every single day, the silent, healing gift of unconditional companionship. This practice is the heart of many ancient contemplative traditions. It is the purest application of our philosophy that pain is a guide. You are treating the guide with the ultimate respect, allowing it to be heard, to be seen, and to be honored without demanding that it be anything other than what it is. This is how we heal, not by fighting the darkness, but by bringing a gentle light to sit beside it. Through the gentle practice of sitting with our feelings, we learn to become a compassionate companion to our own inner world. We create a sanctuary of acceptance where our emotions are allowed to simply be without judgment or pressure. This practice in itself is deeply healing, but it also prepares us for the next stage of our journey, moving from passive companionship to active, trusting collaboration. We are about to connect with the incredible, intuitive wisdom that our emotions hold. We are going to learn to trust our inner compass. You have witnessed this deep, intuitive knowing in your own animal companion. It's a quality that often leaves us in a state of quiet awe. It's the way a dog seems to know that you're on your way home, waiting by the door minutes before your car even turns onto the street. It's the way a cat will suddenly become alert and unsettled for no apparent reason, only for you to later learn a storm is approaching. It's the almost uncanny ability of animals to sense a person's true character, showing affection to one stranger while being noticeably wary of another. We call this instinct, and we accept it as a natural part of their being. We don't question it. We trust their knowing even when we can't see the evidence for ourselves. We praise this kind of intuition in animals, but we tend to distrust it in ourselves. We have been taught that our logical, rational mind is the only reliable guide. Our own gut feelings or intuitive hunches are often dismissed as being overly emotional, unscientific, or illogical. But the core philosophy of our journey teaches us that our emotions are not the opposite of wisdom. They are a profound form of it. Within you, right now, exists a guidance system as powerful and as unerring as any animal's instinct. This is your emotional compass. Unlike a traditional compass that points north, your emotional compass points towards your truth. It doesn't always point to what is easy, or what is comfortable, or what your rational mind thinks is a good idea. It simply points to what is true for you on a soul level. The practice of sitting with your feelings is how we quiet the noisy chatter of the mind, enough to feel the subtle, magnetic pull of this compass. The core insight here is that every feeling is the compass needle swinging in a particular direction, trying to get your attention. Think about it. When you feel a genuine, expansive sense of joy and excitement about an opportunity, that is your compass needle pointing firmly, saying, yes, this is alignment, this is your path. When you feel a deep, persistent sadness, as we explored, your compass is pointing to the truth of what you love and value, reminding you not to forget it. When the guard dog of anger barks, your compass is pointing directly at a boundary that has been violated, showing you the truth that your integrity needs to be defended. And when the stray cat of anxiety appears, your compass is pointing at a deep-seated fear that needs your gentle attention and reassurance, highlighting the truth of your vulnerability. The compass doesn't judge the direction it points. It simply points. Our work is to learn to trust its direction. It takes a great deal of courage to trust this inner knowing in a world that demands external proof and data. Your mind will often argue with the compass. You might be offered a job that looks perfect on paper, good salary, good title, but your inner compass feels heavy, a sense of dread or dullness. The mind will say you should take it. It's the logical choice. But the compass, your deeper truth, is quietly whispering no, this is not for you. Let's try a general, reflective prompt to validate this compass within you. Can you recall a time in your life when you had a strong gut feeling about something? A quiet inner knowing that a certain decision was right or wrong, that a certain person was trustworthy or not. Did you follow that feeling? Or did you let your logical mind or the opinions of others talk you out of it? What was the outcome? Many of us have stories of times we ignored our inner compass and later wish we hadn't. Remembering these moments is not about self-criticism. It is about gathering evidence for the reliability of your own inner guidance system. It is about learning to trust yourself again. Your animal companion lives in a state of constant trust with its own inner compass. It doesn't second-guess its instincts. When it feels fear, it seeks safety. When it feels hunger, it seeks food. When it feels affection, it draws near. There's a beautiful, uncomplicated integrity to its existence. It is fully aligned with its own truth in every moment. This is the state of being they model for us. They remind us that there is a wisdom that operates beyond logic, a truth that is felt rather than thought. By learning to identify and honor the pointing of our own emotional compass, we begin to live with that same integrity. We start making choices not just based on what looks good or sounds right, but on what feels true in the deepest part of our being. This is the path to a truly authentic life. We are learning to trust the quiet, unerring wisdom of our inner compass. By honoring the messages of our feelings, we begin to align our lives not with what the world expects, but with what our soul knows to be true. As we engage in these gentle practices, seeing with our feelings, personifying them as loyal companions, listening for their pre-verbal language, it might seem as though we are learning a new set of skills, a new collection of psychological techniques for self-improvement. It's a common belief in our culture that growth is about building a better version of ourselves, about adding new desirable traits while discarding the old, undesirable ones. But tonight, I want to offer you a different and perhaps more liberating perspective. What if this journey isn't about learning something new at all? What if it is, in fact, a process of remembering something you have always known? What if this work is not an act of construction, but an act of excavation? You are not building a new you. You are gently clearing away the dust and debris of years of social conditioning, of fear, of self-judgment, to uncover the wise, whole, and beautiful self that has been there patiently waiting all along. This entire journey, from the first moment of recognition to the deep, trusting collaboration with your feelings, is not a course in self-improvement. It is a reunion with yourself. Think back to the messengers we have met. The frightened stray of anxiety, the loyal old dog of sadness, the fear-scarred dog of anger. For years, you may have treated these parts of you as enemies, as alien intruders to be exiled from the kingdom of your heart. You pushed them away, locked them up, and pretended they didn't belong to you. But they are not separate from you. They are you. They are essential, vital, and valuable parts of your own soul that became lost or exiled because their energy felt too intense, too inconvenient, or too painful to hold. The core insight here is that every time you practice sitting with one of these feelings, you are sending a message to a lost part of yourself. The message is, you are welcome here. You are safe now. You can come home. This process of reunion can be slow and tender. These exiled parts of us may not trust us at first. For years, we have been their adversary. When the anxious part of you appears, it expects to be scolded. When the sad part appears, it expects to be rushed. When the angry part appears, it expects to be shamed. And so, when you begin to offer them this new response, this gentle, unconditional presence, it takes time for them to believe it is real. This is why consistency in these practices is so important. Every time you meet your anxiety with softness, you are rebuilding trust with that frightened inner stray. Every time you allow your sadness to rest beside you, you are proving your loyalty to that gentle companion. You are, piece by piece, welcoming your fragmented self back into a state of wholeness. Do you remember that feeling we explored in the very beginning of our journey tonight? That feeling when your pet first arrived in your life, that sense of an unspoken, almost fated reunion? This is the very same feeling, only now it is happening within the sacred space of your own heart. You are having a reunion with yourself. The joy and relief you felt when you first held that small creature in your arms is a mirror of the joy your soul feels when you finally turn towards your own pain with love. Let's try a gentle, reflective prompt to feel into this. Think of the one feeling you use to push away the most, the one you judge most harshly. Now that you've begun to offer it a little space, a little kindness, can you feel a subtle shift inside? Does your inner world feel less like a battlefield and more like a home? Can you sense a quiet, emerging wholeness as you welcome this lost part back into the fold? It might not be a dramatic change. It might just be a subtle softening, a little less tension, a little more inner peace. Acknowledge this. This is the feeling of coming home. This is why our animal companions are such profound spiritual teachers. The story of their arrival is the perfect outer metaphor for this inner process. A lost, abandoned, or searching creature finds its way to a safe and loving home, where it is finally accepted for exactly what it is. This is the deepest longing of every human heart. It is the longing of every one of our exiled emotions. They just want to be allowed back home into the loving sanctuary of your own acceptance. The love and safety you provide for your pet is the very same love and safety your own inner parts are asking from you. You already know how to do it. You are already an expert. You simply need to remember to offer that same grace to the beautiful, complex, and sacred creature that is you. We are in the midst of a great reunion, a gentle and sacred homecoming with the lost and exiled parts of ourselves. By offering our feelings a safe harbor within our own heart, we begin to experience a new sense of inner wholeness and peace. And as this wholeness grows, something remarkable begins to happen. We start to rely less on the world outside of us for a sense of safety and validation because we are cultivating it from within. This is the journey of becoming your own sentinel. Remember, at the beginning of our time together, we marveled at the quiet, watchful presence of our animal companions. We called them sentinels, the silent guardians of our peace who stand watch at our bedside while we sleep, who offer their steady presence when we are sick or sad. We looked at them as an external source of this profound grounding energy. We have learned so much by observing their example. But the ultimate goal of any true spiritual guide is not to make you dependent on them. It is to awaken the guide that has always been sleeping within you. Your pet, in its infinite and silent wisdom, has not been teaching you how to need it more. It has been modeling for you what you are capable of becoming for yourself. The qualities of the sentinel are now familiar to us: a calm and steady presence, a non-judgmental awareness, a fierce loyalty, and a deep, unconditional compassion. Think about the practices we have explored. When you choose to meet the frightened stray of your anxiety with gentleness instead of frustration, you are being a calm and steady presence for yourself. You are acting as your own sentinel. When you honor the message of your loyal guard dog of anger and choose to set a healthy boundary with grace, you are demonstrating a fierce loyalty to your own well-being. You are acting as your own sentinel. When you allow the old dog of sadness to simply be with you, offering it your quiet companionship without needing it to change, you are embodying a deep, non-judgmental awareness. You are acting as your own sentinel. The core insight here is that self-compassion is not a passive or weak state. It is an act of profound strength and inner guardianship. You are no longer just a vulnerable person needing protection. You are also the strong and loving protector. You are both the child and the parent, the flock and the shepherd. This is the integration we have been working towards. It is the realization that the safety and peace you long for are not things to be found, but capacities to be activated within your own heart. This doesn't mean you will never feel lost or need comfort from others again. Being human is a vulnerable endeavor, and connection is vital. But it means that your fundamental sense of safety is no longer contingent on anything or anyone outside of yourself. You are learning to be your own safe harbor. Let's try a gentle visualization to help you feel the truth of this. I invite you to picture yourself standing at the gate of your own inner world, your inner landscape. See yourself not as a frightened resident, but as a calm, strong, and loving guardian of this sacred space. Your posture is relaxed but rooted. Your gaze is soft but unwavering. Your heart is open but protected. From this place, look upon the feelings that arrive at your gate, the fleeting joy, the deep sorrow, the flash of fear. As the sentinel, what is your only job? It is not to fight them, not to interrogate them, and not to change them. Your job is simply to ensure that this is a safe space for them to be seen and heard. Your presence alone is what creates the safety. Can you feel the quiet strength in this role? It is a strength that doesn't come from aggression or control, but from boundless compassion and deep, unshakable presence. This is the power you've been cultivating all along. The compassion you so easily offer to your pet is the very essence of this sentinel strength. You are simply learning to turn that strength inward, to stand guard over the sanctity of your own heart. This is not about achieving a state of invulnerable perfection. It is about knowing with a deep and quiet certainty that you possess the inner resources to meet whatever arises in your life with grace. When the storms of life come, you now know that you have an anchor within you. When the darkness falls, you know that you can be your own light. Remember that guardian at your bedside we spoke of so long ago? The one whose steady breathing brought such peace? You are learning to become that presence for yourself. You are learning to be the one who stays, the one who watches, the one who protects. You are becoming your own sentinel. And so we arrive at the end of our journey for tonight, coming full circle, back to the simple, profound truth that started it all, the quiet presence of the animal companion resting by your side. We began by seeing them as a comfort, a sentinel, a mysterious messenger from a world without words. We have journeyed through our own inner landscape, meeting our fear, our sadness, and our anger, learning to see them not as monsters, but as wise and loyal guides. We have learned to sit with them, to listen to their pre-verbal language, and to trust the unerring direction of our own inner compass. We have embarked on a great reunion with the lost parts of ourselves, and we have begun to feel the quiet strength of becoming our own sentinel. Now, in these final moments, let's bring all of these threads together into one last beautiful realization. I invite you now to look at the small creature who has been the silent muse for our entire journey. If they are near you, let your eyes rest upon them. If they are not, simply bring their dear face to your mind's eye. See them in all their perfect imperfection. See their unique quirks, their funny habits, the way they sleep, the way they look at you when they want something. As you hold this image in your heart, allow yourself to feel the love you have for them. Let it rise up from your chest, this pure, uncomplicated, unconditional wave of affection. It is a love that asks for nothing in return. It does not demand that they be different than they are. It does not judge their past or worry about their future. It is a love that simply says, I am so glad you exist. My life is better because you are in it. Feel the sheer force of this love. It is one of the most powerful and beautiful energies you are capable of generating. For years, you have poured this incredible love onto them, and it has been a sacred and healing exchange for you both. But here is the final, gentle secret that our animal companions come to teach us. This is the ultimate message they deliver, the echo of a profound universal truth. The unconditional love that you feel pouring out of you towards them is, and has always been, the exact love your own soul has been asking for from you. They are the vessel. They are the mirror. They are the safe external place where you've been allowed to practice loving unconditionally. It feels easy to love them this way because they do not have the complex stories, the self-judgments, and the past wounds that we carry. They are a pure, simple target for our purest love. But the love itself does not originate with them. It originates within you. It is a vast, infinite wellspring inside your own heart. The core insight, the destination of our entire journey tonight, is the realization that the time has come to turn that fire hose of love and compassion around and to let just a little of it water the garden of your own soul. This is the great, beautiful secret of the heart. Every act of kindness you have shown your pet has been a lesson. Every gentle touch, every soothing word, every patient moment has been practiced for how to treat yourself. The sentinel you are becoming is simply learning to offer yourself the same protection you offer them. The reunion you are having with your lost feelings is the same as welcoming a lost stray into the safety of your home. Your animal companion came into your life not just to receive your love, but to show you the sheer, breathtaking power of the love you hold within you, and to silently implore you to finally share some of it with yourself. So as we close, I offer you this one last reflective thought. As you continue to love and care for the dear companions in your life, can you make a gentle promise to yourself? A promise to remember that this love is an echo. It is an echo of the love your own inner child is longing for, the love your own anxious parts need, the love your own sadness deserves. It is the journey of a lifetime to learn to love ourselves as purely and as unconditionally as we love our most trusted animal friends. They have shown you the way. They have taught you the language. They have held the space. Now all that is left to do is to begin. And as our time together comes to a gentle close, allow my voice to be a soft anchor, guiding you down into a state of deep and peaceful rest. Let the ideas we've explored tonight settle within you, not as tasks to be completed, but as seeds planted in the fertile soil of your heart. There is nothing more you need to do, nothing you need to figure out right now. All that is required is to rest, and to allow the gentle work of integration to happen in the quiet, magical realm of your dreams. You can feel a sense of softness spreading through your body now, a gentle unwinding of all the tension from the day. Your shoulders relax, your jaw softens, and your breathing deepens, becoming a slow, steady rhythm, like the quiet tide of a peaceful sea. You have journeyed far tonight, into the beautiful landscape of your own inner world. You have been a courageous and compassionate explorer. Now it is time for the explorer to rest, to find sanctuary in the stillness of this present moment. Know that you are whole. Know that you are wise, and know that you are deeply, unconditionally loved, most especially by the nascent sentinel within you. Allow yourself to drift now, carried on the gentle waves of your own breath, deeper and deeper into a state of serene, healing sleep. The journey is complete for tonight. All is well.